Swamp City is a place where serial killers argue precedent and lawyers collect teeth in velvet pouches. That isn't metaphor, that's zoning. The billboards downtown advertise both litigation firms and memorial discounts. Wrongful death? We'll make it right. Beneath it, in smaller print, now accepting new night clients. The wolves roam after sunset, and the lawyers roam after the wolves. It keeps the ecosystem balanced. Bodies generate paperwork. Paperwork generates power. 3 years. It took me 3 years to find him. 3 years crossing the 7 cities, following rumors that bled out by morning. 3 years combing Share My Day feeds frame by frame, zooming in on reflections in cafe windows and the blurred shoulders of strangers in the background. 3 years in the shadow net, where anonymous users trade sightings like trading cards. Seen him near Canal District. No, that's not him. Scars are wrong. Pipeworks uniform, name tag said Argus. 3 years digging through missing persons reports, learning how the city categorizes the vanished. Presumed wolf, presumed runaway, presumed litigation. 3 years looking for Charlene. My sister was a law student at Swamp City College, following in Dad's footsteps, following in my footsteps. She believed in systems, believed if you followed the rules precisely enough, the rules would eventually follow you back. She never walked alone after dusk. She never cut through alleys. She avoided neighborhoods where the wolves were rumored to den. She had few friends, fewer distractions, and no vices I could name. Then she disappeared. The college called our parents after she missed 2 weeks of classes. 2 weeks. In Swamp City, that's considered punctual. Her phone went straight to black silence, not voicemail, just absence. When we drove in and forced the dorm supervisor to open her room, it looked staged for a catalog. Bed made tight enough to bounce a coin, textbooks squared, wallet on the desk, cash inside, her old blue cardigan folded over the chair. One dress missing. The good one. No sign of struggle, no sign of her. The police officer who took our report didn't even try to hide his boredom. He had the pallor of someone who works nights, by preference. "We'll notify you when we recover remains," he said, like offering a weather update. "In Swamp City," he added conversationally, "missing persons are almost never found alive." He said it the way other cities say "have a nice day." We pushed the college for camera footage. They informed us the cameras had been non-functional for years, too expensive to repair, but useful, they insisted, as a deterrent. Swamp City runs on the appearance of oversight. We asked students. Most didn't know her. A few recognized her face, but couldn't attach a story to it. Charlene had moved through campus like a draft of cool air, felt briefly, then gone. Our only lead came from the librarian, an old woman with red ink permanently staining the webbing between her fingers. "She started meeting someone," she told us quietly. "A young man. They were studying the stacks." She showed us a photo she'd taken for the college website. 2 students posed between towering shelves. Charlene stood stiffly, her hair pinned back, eyes focused on something just out of frame. Beside her, a boy with shoulder-length dark hair and expensive glasses. Beneath his left eye were 2 pale scars running down to his cheekbones like parentheses. He wore a Swamp City Pipeworks shirt. A name tag read Argus. No last name. We thought that would be enough. It wasn't. No Argus had ever worked for Pipeworks. The company admitted, almost cheerfully, that counterfeit uniforms were common. No sane person pretends to be a city plumber, their HR representative laughed. We don't bother policing it. All we had was a face, a fake name, and a lie about pipes. Over the next 3 years, both of my parents were killed. Officially, unrelated wolf activity. Their bodies were recovered, identified, cataloged, buried. The will, read. All they owned was now mine. Swamp City is very efficient with the dead. Charlene, however, remained unfiled. The last lead was found by a private investigator, a woman called Red Prince out of River City. She dressed in a denim jacket with patches and carried herself like a confession. She handed me a scrap of paper with an address scrawled on it. "You'll find answers there," she said. "And you'll help me?" I asked. I offered her more money than I had. She shook her head. "Your actions will be your own." That was the last time I saw her. His apartment sat at the edge of Midtown, where the street lights flicker like nervous witnesses. His building had peeling paint and windows that reflected nothing clearly. I waited in my car until the sun sank low enough to make the sky bruise. Wolves prefer full dark. Lawyers prefer twilight. I didn't know what Argus preferred. At exactly 8:03 p.m., he came walking down the sidewalk, carrying a paper bag of groceries. He didn't look over his shoulder, didn't check his reflection in car windows, didn't move like prey. One lock on his door. Every other apartment on the floor had at least 5. I stepped up behind him and pressed the muzzle of my pistol into his back. "Open the door," I whispered. "Say nothing." He stiffened, but complied. Inside, his apartment smelled like dust and printer ink. Piles of documents blanketed the table. Trash sagged in the corner. Clothes overflowed the couch. The television played some old horror movie on mute. A hallway led to a bathroom and a bedroom. "Look," he said carefully, still facing away from me. "If you're robbing me, my wallet's in my right pocket. There's not much in it." "I'm not robbing you." He paused. "You would have shot already if you were a wolf," he said. "So, what is it you want?" His voice was calm, analytical. "I need to know where Charlene Equus is," I said, pushing the gun harder into his spine. "My sister." Silence. "Who the hell is that?" "You met her in the college library. Law student. Years ago." "I've never been a student there." "You wore a Pipeworks uniform. Name tag Argus." "That's my name," he said. "But I don't work for Pipeworks." "Turn around." He did. The same face from the photograph. Same scars, same glasses. But his eyes. There was no flicker of recognition, only concern. For me. "I don't know who you're talking about," he said softly. "Put the gun down. You're lying." "If I knew where your sister was," he said, "I'd tell you. If she disappeared 3 years ago, she's gone." That sentence hit wrong. "You don't even remember her?" I snapped. "I don't know who she is. Put the gun down. Go home. Mourn her. Let her go." My finger tightened. The gunshot was louder than the stories say. It rang through the apartment and into my bones. The recoil jolted my wrist. For a split second, I thought I'd dropped the weapon. Argus staggered back. Blood bloomed across his shirt in a dark, spreading flower. He looked surprised, not afraid. He collapsed, a wet sound filling the room. I stepped over him. His bedroom was worse than the rest of his place. Mattress on the floor, clothes in drifts. But in the corner, there was a desk so meticulously arranged it felt surgical. A computer, keyboard aligned, mouse centered, and a thick binder. The computer was locked. The binder wasn't. Inside were imperial identification cards in transparent sleeves, 9 per page. Page after page. Dozens, hundreds, women, men, teenagers, a few children, organized alphabetically by last name. Trophies, I thought at first. Evidence of murder. I flipped to E. Equus. Not there. Relief fluttered weakly in my chest. Then I kept flipping. Under L, there she was. My sister. But not Charlene Equus. The ID read Victoria Legume, named Vicky. Address 512 New Vale Avenue, Imperial City. Date of birth, wrong. Her photo, she was smiling, wide, radiant. I had never seen Charlene smile like that. Not once. My hands trembled. These weren't stolen IDs. They were manufactured. New names, new cities, new histories. Argus hadn't been collecting the dead. He'd been manufacturing the missing. The secretive meetings, the fake uniform, the careful selection of people no one would immediately notice were gone. Students, drifters, the lonely. People who wanted to disappear. Charlene hadn't been taken. She had left. I closed the binder slowly. From the living room, I could hear Argus trying to breathe. If I turned this over to the Vigiles Urbani, they would tear through the underground network that Argus built, recover data from his computer, track every identity issued, drag every one of these people back to their original names. Hundreds of lives would collapse overnight. And Charlene, Victoria, Vicky, whatever she called herself now, would be found, returned. I imagined her standing in a doorway somewhere in Imperial City, startled as officers cuffed her wrists. Returned to Swamp City. Returned to me. Behind me, Argus made a choking sound. Why? I asked aloud, not sure if I meant him or her. I walked back into the living room. He was pale now, blood soaking into the warped wood floor. You never told me when she went missing, I said quietly. He tried to speak. Blood bubbled at his lips. You could have told me, I continued. You could have given her back. His eyes locked on mine. There was no hatred there, only something like pity. With effort, he forced out 2 words. She chose. The apartment felt smaller, closer, the air thick. Swamp City doesn't just produce killers and lawyers. It produces exits. People pay to become ghosts. And I had just shot the ferryman. I looked down at him, at the spreading red, at the single cheap lock on his door. He hadn't been afraid of wolves. He hadn't been afraid of me. He left the door easy to open, because the only people who come looking for the vanished are those ones who can't let them go, or those who want to vanish. I picked up the binder. hundreds of lives. One sister. Outside, the city lights flickered on. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed. Not urgent, just procedural. I smiled. I could turn this in. Collect the bounty. Watch the Vigiles Urbani drag every ghost back into their graves. Or I could close the binder. Burn it. Let them all stay dead to the world. Charlene had chosen to vanish, but she had not asked my permission. In Swamp City, love and possession are litigated the same way. And I have always been very good at building a case.